Forget AI and all the big tech nonsense they're trying to force down our throat every 5 minutes. Let's talk about the real future of technology and the way it's going to shape society, hopefully for the better. The $2.4 trillion elephant in the room, blockchain and cryptocurrency. My name is UK. Let's have a chat about it, shall we? Hello everybody and welcome. So this one's going to be a long one. I've got chapters down below. You can skip around and watch however you see fit, but I do believe there's value in watching this video. So before you go and leave angry comments down below, make sure you at least skip to the part where hopefully I explain where I'm coming from and my point of view. It's fine to disagree with me. I love conversations about these kind of topics, but give me a chance, watch the video, then leave a comment. I beg you. So to understand the problems that we face today in society, you need to understand the basics. And we're going to start at the very beginning with money. You see, right now, banks are using a system called fractional reserve banking. Now, if you don't know what that means, here's a quick 60-second guide to fractional reserve banking. See, here's a real-world example of how this current system works. Say I go to the bank and I deposit $1,000. That bank legally only needs to store a fraction of that deposit, sometimes 5–10%. So let's say 10% is stored in the bank vaults or on the bank computers. That other 90% is then free to be lent out as credit. What this then does is it effectively creates new money out of thin air. You have the 10% of the deposit, $100 in the bank books, and then you have the other $900 lent as credit being spent in the economy. That's $1,900. So that $900 that was made out of thin air is then spent and circulated around the economy. All commercial banks use fractional reserve banking. It's imperative you understand how basic money works in today's society to then understand, well, how is crypto and blockchain technology going to fix some of these problems? Well, let me tell you about some of the problems of fractional reserve banking. When you create more money, you create a higher supply of money. Inevitably, you create inflation. There is more supply. There is more liquidity in the market. With inflation comes higher interest rates. Have you ever heard the term the great wealth transfer? We're currently experiencing that right now in our lifetime, because what's happening is these banks that are creating this money out of thin air to generate revenue for their banks are then charging interest on the credit and the debt that they're giving to consumers. They're making money on the interest payments of money that didn't exist. So it's regular people who are paying for credit, these exuberant interest fees. Some of these credit cards, 17, 18, 20% interest. Is the transfer of wealth from that interest payment to that bank is absolute insanity. So it's important to understand the basics and the fundamentals of money, how it is created, how it is used, how it is spent, and the problems that we're facing today as a society. Because the transfer of wealth from everyday consumers with record level of credit card debt paying interest-only payments is just free money for these banks. Another massive drawback of fractional reserve banking is there's always that chance of a run on the bank. If you've heard this term before, this essentially means depositors will flock to their bank to try and take their money out in a time of panic or unease, and the bank physically doesn't have enough money to process these withdrawals. These run-on banks have happened historically, and who's left holding these empty receipts of worthless paper where they can't even get access to their money that's now become worthless due to inflation and then hyperinflation? It's regular people. It's the little guys, time and time again. How many financial banking crises do we need to go through to realize that this is a massive problem that needs to be solved? Well, enter cryptocurrency. You see, cryptocurrency and blockchain technology solve the majority of problems that this fractional banking system creates in the first place. Here we have an absolutely useful technology that can be used to solve a very, very, very fundamental problem with the global economy. With blockchain and digital cryptocurrencies, there is no infinite money printing. With Bitcoin, for example, there is fixed supply and it will never go above that fixed supply. This should, in theory, fix inflation over a long period of time. You have other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum and smart contracts, which can solve all of the other problems that come with traditional banking stuff. Think about fees, transaction speed, transaction costs, trust, you name it. Ethereum has the framework through smart contracts, through programmable money, to solve 95% of all of the world's financial problems. But we're in a bit of a pickle. You see, right now, cryptocurrency is the wild, wild west. It's just like the early days of the internet when the dot-com bubble exploded beyond belief and then burst. We're at a period in time where cryptocurrency is so heavily frowned upon just based on the fact that people have used it to scam and manipulate and to make money from other people through all kinds of different shitcoins, rug pulls, memes, NFTs, you name it. Right now, we have the SEC desperately trying to control the crypto runaway train. They're never going to. There's always been talk of a CBDC, a central bank digital coin. It's never going to happen. The first mover advantage that Bitcoin and then Ethereum and then all of the other cryptos have over something like a CBDC is unparalleled, unmatched, and unbeatable. You see, if a government tries to control cryptocurrency through regulation and through investor protections, all it's trying to do realistically is stifle the growth and development of blockchain technology. You see, the SEC and the government all around the world, they see cryptocurrency and blockchain as a massive threat to their profits. If you want to know some really good stock picks, just go look at Nancy Pelosi and her husband's portfolio. Copy their trades, and who would have thunk you're going to get everyone just right. This world, this economy, today's society is based around a fundamentally flawed system. Cryptocurrency eventually will solve this. The issues with fractional reserve banking are just the tip of the iceberg. When we talk about some of the problems that cryptocurrency and blockchain technology can solve, the list is endless. We're talking anything that goes into a database can be stored on the blockchain. Anything. Any financial transaction your mind could possibly think of could happen on the blockchain. Any type of payment for service or product can happen on the blockchain. We got a ways to go before we really fully embrace blockchain technology and cryptocurrency a part of our day-to-day life. We will get there though. Unlike AI and what big tech companies have shown off in terms of trying to solve problems that really don't exist, cryptocurrency and blockchain really is the future of sound money. And when I say sound money, I mean we're going to get to a point probably here in the next 5 to 10 years where these decentralized blockchains account for 90% or more of all transactions worldwide. You see, not only does cryptocurrency and blockchain technology solve a plethora of problems, it's also leading the way to new innovation and to new ways of thinking about how the world uses money and how we interact our day-to-day lives using money. Fiat currencies, essentially a paper or coin denomination of currency that isn't backed by anything, fail. Fiat currencies just fail. It has happened every single currency throughout history. The reason being, there is nothing backing that currency. There is no standard. The US dollar used to be backed by gold. I think it was in the 60s or 70s when the United States government decided to remove the gold standard and allow money printing and hyperinflation and all kinds of problems that come from removing actual physical backed denomination into a fiat currency that can be printed and created out of thin air that has no backing. The economy is absurd. It is truly bonkers how backwards things are right now. It is almost mind-blowing how we as the people are transferring our wealth on such a massive scale straight back to these bankers. And who are these bankers transferring the wealth to? It's the politicians. I'm not going to go too deep down that rabbit hole in this video, but hopefully what I've done is I've changed your perception a little bit on cryptocurrency and blockchain. Because yeah, while it has probably the worst reputation in the world right now as this speculative bubble or Ponzi scheme, that isn't the case. While there are a lot of aspects to cryptocurrency that aren't showing it in its best light, it is the future of ultrasound money. And that's not just my opinion. I'm not just throwing these wild ideas out there. $2.4 trillion of investment into the cryptocurrency space as of today. That's a lot of money. When you start talking trillion with a T, banks, governments, you name it. All eyes, how do we stop this? How do we stop this runaway train that's going to take over the entire financial economy? They can't. We're so far down the line now. This thing has so much momentum that the snowball we're seeing right now is only going to get bigger. You see, while the crypto market today has a total market cap of around 2.4 trillion, we're about to experience a monumental explosion when it comes to cryptocurrency prices. Because banks, knowing that they can't compete, well, they're trying to get in on the action themselves. The Bitcoin ETF was just launched, giving investors access to Bitcoin safely. An Ethereum ETF is also on the horizon. Why are these products coming now? Well, you can't stop cryptocurrency. It's only going to get bigger and stronger and more integrated into our day-to-day lives. And it is going to solve problems. And that's the thing that we need to look forward to, because fundamentally, our economy is completely scuffed. Whether you're a millionaire on a yacht or you're paycheck to paycheck, struggling to pay for food, struggling to look after your kids, working 2.5 jobs, this economy is scuffed. It doesn't work for the population, period. But we'll get there. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And this light, I believe, the future of money, the future of secure, cheap, fast transactions that nobody can fiddle with, nobody can mess with, nobody can manipulate. They're stored on the blockchain. They can't be changed. They can't be altered. There can be no fraud. There can be no scams. We're a ways away, but the momentum is on our side. And as regular everyday Joes in society who go through financial collapse after financial collapse. If it's not the dot-com bubble, it's the housing crisis. If it's not the housing crisis, it's inflation. If it's not inflation, it's going to be whatever this next big thing blows up and absolutely cripples society for several years, while banks and governments decide how they should stimulate the economy by throwing a few quarters of the population to fix the damage that they themselves created. You see, I could sit here and I could talk all day about the benefits of blockchain technology and cryptocurrency, what I think it's going to do for our society, and the massive, huge benefits that the blockchain technology and cryptocurrency are on the precipice of delivering to regular everyday people. Because I am a regular everyday person. I have financial struggles. I've gone through financial crises. I get, where we're at right now, but with a deeper understanding of just the basics, just of how money works in the first place and how we're being duped into this huge wealth transfer where we're paying these monumental interest rates back to the banks. Is this going to be another, huge financial crisis where the banks are sitting on record profits and Occupy Wall Street happens again, or who knows? But we're very close. I think we're 2 to 3 years away from a slightly more utopian society that respects human beings, that respects a fair and balanced monetary system that doesn't only benefit the top bankers and politicians and lawmakers, that benefits everybody, because that's all I care about. Good vibes, good times, everybody's happy. Let's have a fair, even playing field for everybody, because that would be fantastic. Don't you agree? Let me know in the comments what you think. I could talk about this all day, I know. I'm sorry. I'm going to wrap it up here. But for now, I've been UK. You've been fantastic. I will see you in the next one.